10 people on, which was good.
Okay.
We're live. Can you hear that music? Tonya, welcome. After all that technical difficulty.
Yes, sorry about that. Yes, technical.
No, it's not your fault. There's something if somebody from Substack is watching this, there is something extremely buggy about Substack. When you go Substack live, I don't know, because I've had this problem now with 2 other guests, and so I give up. I'm gonna just, until I figure out how to get that to work correctly. Anyway, let me turn down the music. It is a delight to have you here. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
I guess we're co-hosting this, so it's not even, you're not really even joining anything. But this is the Gen X Oscars. We've actually gotten dressed up for this. Thank you for, look at your beautiful sequency thing. Is there a story?
Well, okay, so the black turtleneck is an ode to Sharon Stone's Gap black turtleneck after she had a wardrobe crisis in 1996 Oscars, and it's cold in New York. And then this is an 80s vintage cape thing that I just got. So I figured it was good for, you know.
So you write, I mean, you should tell people, you write a lot about like costumes and stuff. So this is more than just like you get, like, you know about this, you know of what with what you wear.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I love fashion too, but yes, I write a lot about costume design for TV and film. So yeah, I just love how, you know, clothing tells a story. I'll probably have some little costume fun facts as we go through today too, but yeah, and fashion is fun. So I love that I love your outfit.
Thank you. It's not that great. It doesn't compare to yours. I'm trying over here. Okay. I want to make sure we were live over on Substack, and we are. So this works. This all works. All right. So what is this crazy thing we're doing right here? So I had this weird idea last month. I was like, yeah, the Oscars are coming, whatever. It's, you know, I'm excited about the Oscars, but I kind of feel like we should do a tribute to the movies that we grew up with, that we love so much. Right. And Tonya has a great Substack. What is it called? Whatever Never. Tell me what your Substack is called, because you've got a few actually.
But Whatever Nevermind.
Yeah, Whatever Nevermind.
Yeah, so it's like pop culture, fashion, beauty, through the, you know, celebrating Gen X, but, you know, through the lens of today, like what's going on right now with their generation. So
right. Yeah. So we write about, you know, I also write about Gen X. So we kind of peas in a pod here. And so I knew that she'd be a great co-host for our Gen X award. So the idea here, and you're so like steeped in Gen X culture and pop culture in general. So, you know, I knew that I had a good companion in this. So what we kind of decided to do was to do our own Gen X Oscars. And this kind of goes, Gen X is a tough one because it, you know, technically it's anybody that was born between 1965 and 1980. But then you talk about the pop culture we consumed. It's kind of different depending on how old you are. I mean, we all consume the same pop culture, but the movies that really made an impact, or the pop culture that really made an impact on people, kind of depends a little bit on when you're born. There's the early Gen Xers like me and the more later Gen Xers like you, which is good. So we have a spectrum here. So like there's some people who like grew up they think of Gen X and they think of just 80s. Like I kind of think of that. But then there's people more like you, I think, and I don't mean to speak for you here, but who kind of think of Gen X as also kind of early 90s as well. Like, so it kind of encompasses. So what I tried to do with the Gen X Oscars is like, these are the movies that came out between 84 and 96. Because that's like our peak movie going years during our, you know, youth. And I wanted to like pick movies and actors and performances and music that like had a real cultural impact on us, that, you know, that like are very quotable, that, you know, we saw these movies in theaters and like we came out and we're like, oh my God, and like started quoting the movies and couldn't forget about the movies, you know, years after we saw them, and have returned to them and watched them first on VHS and now streaming. So that's kind of like what I was thinking when I was thinking about this list, not just necessarily the best performances, because well, the Oscars already took care of that in a way in 1984, between 1984 and 1996. Although there's probably going to be some overlap between who actually won an Oscar and who we say should win an Oscar. But that was kind of the idea. Does that make sense? I mean, like, so not just necessarily the best performances, but like iconically and culturally, like performances that like are like truly Gen X.
Yeah, definitely. And I like how we're looking at it through our perspective from now too. So, it's seeing which of these performances really still sit with us.
Yeah.
Um, and also speaking to what you were saying about just like where you are in the generation, like in Gen X, I think it's just because like if we watch, like when you watch something at like 14 or 16 versus like your 8, like it hits you so differently, I think, and it sits in your consciousness so differently too. So it is great that we have that like span, I think.
Yeah. And actually, so I'm going to pull an audible here and tell you that I kind of looking at some of my picks, I was like, oh, I should have put this person. So I might actually add some people to the list that we didn't originally talk about, just to really throw you off.
Yeah, I have some besides also. Like, you can't help it when you have these conversations.
Sometimes, yeah, it's hard because oh wow. I just like turned on I have my little sound pad here, and I was right after I said, that I'm gonna pull an audible, I want to do this sound effect. This is like a morning zoo show, which is very 80s, right? The Z Morning Zoo or whatever.
I know exactly what, yeah. I remember.
So, all right. So without further ado, I think we should leap right in. And if we have some time, first of all, we really want you, the audience, to participate in this. So please put comments in, disagree with us, be like, what the hell? How could you forget this person? And let me just reiterate, this is between 84 and 96. So there are a few movies here that are not on this list. Like I'm just going to say it right now, Fast Times at Ridgemont High is 83. So it didn't make the list, even though that movie to me is a hugely influential, iconic 80s movie that's very Gen X, but it's not going to make the list. So you're not going to see Spicoli on this list, although he probably should be on the list. No, Sean Penn.
Actually, it's actually to 1997 because
97. Yeah. Okay. I screwed that up. That's why. Because we probably, I think we wanted to accommodate a few people that are just like in your mind, like, and my mind, like truly Gen X-y. If that's a thing, Gen X-y, Gen X-ish. So should we start what should we start with? Should we do it like the way the Oscars does it and start with like best supporting actress? Or what do you think? Or is it best supporting actor? What do they? I think they start with best supporting actor.
Yeah, I think they go with best supporting actor. Okay.
All right. I was going to share I could share this image with, let me see if I can find this image so people can see what we're talking about here. Let's see. I have this on my screen. I'm going to share this just for a second so everybody knows what we're talking about. The beauty of live.
I don't even know if I can see it, but
let's see it. Let's see if they can see this. Well, okay. Well, I don't know if this is going to actually work. Oh, screw it. You know what? I'm so over tech stuff right now that we're just going to say them out loud, and then we can.
It's like you're reading from the envelope. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So we're reading from the envelope. So best supporting actor. Now I got to go down to my list of best supporting actor, or are we going to do actor, or are we going to do actress?
Do actor.
So yeah, let's do actor.
I have it in front of me if you want me to start.
Yeah, you started.
Okay. So the nominees are Joe Pesci for Goodfellas, 1990, Samuel L. Jackson, Pulp Fiction, 1994, which he did receive a nomination for, Pat Morita, The Karate Kid, 1984, and was nominated also, and Alan Rickman, Die Hard, and Lawrence Fishburne, Boys in the Hood, 1991. Oh, Die Hard, 1988. So, okay.
Yeah, that is okay. So, man, we got Joe Pesci, Samuel Jackson, and Samuel L. Jackson, Pat Morita, Alan Rickman, both rest in peace, and Lawrence Fishburne. I mean, first of all, like it's like choosing your favorite child, right? I mean, these are like all iconic performances. Who did you ultimately end up going with?
This was hard. Also because I just rewatched Boys in the Hood last.
Right, so it's fresh.
Yeah, it's fresh in my head, and I watched Pulp Fiction for the first time. Don't at me. I'm sorry. I just watched it. So Samuel L. Jackson. I'm gonna go Samuel L. Jackson because I feel like he's. Oh God, yeah. I'm torn between Samuel L. Jackson and Lawrence Fishburne.
Me too. I know. I have So maybe you do your Samuel Jackson
Okay.
explanation. I'll do my Lawrence Fishburne.
Okay, so I mean, Samuel L. Jackson, he did receive the nomination. He got a 2022 honorary Oscar. I mean, he's just like, I feel like he sort of spanned, like, there was such a range in what he did, like his Ezekiel 25:17, sort of his like monologues that he did has like had so much gravitas and it just like mesmerized you and sucked you in. But then he also just like lightning fast do like the quippy banter with John Travolta, and it was funny.
Yeah.
I mean, he just he just took the screen every time you were in there. And then to see him go and like give the SAG the same day that I watched the movie to Sinners, I was like, Samuel Jackson is he's just such a legend. He's still like his cultural impact.
Yeah.
From this, I mean, even before this movie, but like just from then on, you watched. Yeah,
that was I mean, he's been around forever, but he really was on my radar after Pulp Fiction. Like, I just was like, this guy's incredible. I once had a Samuel L. Jackson sighting at my doctor's office, which the fact that we had the same doctor was one of the greatest moments of my life. And he had his little, he always has his Kangol on backwards, and he was so friendly. He was like, "Hey, how you doing?" It's like, I didn't even know him. He's just like super friendly. I agree. I mean, you can't think of Pulp Fiction without thinking of Samuel Jackson. Now, of course, John Travolta also creeps in there, and that was like his comeback movie. But Samuel L. Jackson kind of really, to me, steals the show in that movie. It's just a performance that I probably will never, ever, ever forget. And he's so scary in the scene, that first scene when they show up at those young kids apartment. Money. And oh my God, that scene is just like one of the most tense scenes in the way he plays that. It's like, holy shit. So I'm going to go. So I agree with you on Sam Jackson. I'm going to make a small case for Lawrence Fishburne.
Because
right. I mean, he's just kind of like unbelievable. I rewatched Boys in the Hood recently because I hadn't seen it in a while. First of all, that movie, it's sad, but it's like still very prescient today. Like that movie, like it came out in 91 and it could have been filmed like now. Right. I mean, it's not too much has changed. There's a speech that he gives like on the front porch about like systemic racism that is like really, really super powerful. And it's almost like, to me, that was like the moment that I was like, oh, maybe Lawrence Fishburne should be like best supporting actor here. So I do think that he is, and then he would go on to be in The Matrix, which doesn't make our list because I don't think it makes the years, but that would also be my second choice of like one of the most iconic, incredible performances ever. But that's really Lawrence. That's the first time I ever saw Lawrence Fishburne in Boys in the Hood, and I have to just say that his sort of depiction of Black fatherhood and it was like sort of revolutionary, I feel like, at that time. So very important role. If Spicoli on the opposite spectrum, if we could include Spicoli, I would just say, if I can just put a word in for Sean Penn, that role. I mean, let's just face it, Spicoli as a kind of the surfer dude just kind of embodied it's talk about like cultural touchstones. Like, I don't think people were really very familiar with the sort of LA surfer culture until that role. And like, he just made it mainstream and tapped into it so perfectly. I just have to give him a shout out, even though it doesn't technically make our list. He could not be any more different in his than Lawrence Fishburne as far as what he's doing and playing. But I felt like that role, just as far as like quotability, right? Like, everybody quotes like Spicoli, and just like the fact that like he kind of put Vans and skateboarding and like just surf, like the surfer culture, like voice and stuff like on the map. Like, nobody was really doing that until Spicoli. It seems now like almost like a cliche, but at the time it was kind of revolutionary. So I'm just going to say that.
I feel like you could, because we're going to talk about Clueless later, but Travis and Clueless, there's definitely a through line, like,
for sure.
Like,
and I mean, of course, it's both Amy Heckerling, right? And so she knows her surfer dude really well. But I think it is incredible that Amy Heckerling wrote sort of like two of the most iconic Gen Z movies, but they're sort of for different Gen Z like segments like we're talking about. Like Fast Times at Ridgemont High was more for my age, and then Clueless more for your age, right? Like I think, yeah. I feel like Clueless brought on the next era. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of generations claim Clueless too, but we can get to that when we talk to.
Annoying, I feel like millennials claim Clueless, and they did see it when they were younger. But then and then like the next movie after that was Mean Girls, right? So like I feel like if you had to, and when this is another conversation, but if you had to be like, I would be like, it's like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Breakfast Club, Clueless, and then Mean Girls. I don't know, in terms of like those kinds of movies.
Yeah, the coming of age.
The coming of age, like
generation. Yeah. Which I would say like Boys in the Hood also is coming of age, because I feel like when I watched it in the early 90s, that's probably the message that I got, because I was
yeah. I mean, it was basically like, it was very much like Stand By Me, but like seen from a different perspective, from a Black perspective living in America. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And then and Lawrence Fishburne, and that just like he just, as a father, he just really tugged at my heartstrings, just wanting the best for his son, his only son, and then also delivering these like sort of not speeches, but like highlighting like the colonial history that they teach you in school, and talking about gentrification and everything. These are the things we talk about now, and it's like the monologues that he was giving, that it was like so powerful.
It was powerful, and then people weren't really talking about that as much back then. So it was like, now it feels like that's talked about a lot. But back then it was pretty revolutionary. And rest in peace, John Singleton really like captured something there, captured a moment in time, which is timeless in a lot of ways. And we're going to talk about Cuba Gooding Jr. But all right, so let's go to Best Supporting Actor. We did that already. Sorry, I'm already completely screwing this up. All right, I'm sorry that we were going to do visuals, but they made it too hard to do visuals, so I'm not going to do that. So we had, I'll read this, and then you can plan. So we had Whoopi Goldberg for Ghost. We had Uma Thurman for Pulp Fiction. We had Marissa Tomei for My Cousin Vinny. Joan Chen in The Last Emperor, and Angela Bassett in Boys in the Hood. Again, like, how do you choose? I struggled with this quite a bit. And again, it's not necessarily the best performance. It's kind of like the most iconic for Gen X. And who's not on this list, which probably should be, is Ali Sheedy. I did realize we didn't have enough Brat Packers on our list, but that's okay. I'm coming back with it. So I'm going to maybe do a special shout out to Ali Sheedy from Breakfast Club. But anyway, who do you feel like wins the best?
This one's hard. Also because, this one was, I feel like all of these are hard for me. I think I'm going to go with the Angela Bassett in Boys in the Hood, because I feel like she did like a Judi Dench, where she's in it for like not that much, but she made such an impression, and it was like like her playing Trey's mom was it's a pivotal points like in the movie. And I mean, she's just a legend
actress.
She does so much with with these like brief scenes, but like very meaningful. And I mean, she's
I mean, she had such a run at this era, because we're going to talk about her a little later. She's in Love, What's Love Got to Do with It, which so yeah, I mean, this was like the Angela Bassett like on fire era. And that particular role is very unforgettable. I would probably who did I pick? Oh my God. I don't even know who I picked, because I can't do this. This is too hard for me. I think I picked Uma Thurman.
I thought you were going to pick
him. You knew I was going to do Uma Thurman. I had to get somebody. I mean, we're bad here. We're doing a lot of Pulp Fiction and Boys in the Hood, but we'll have to get away. But I mean, those movies are so important and so incredible. I don't know. She was just a cool girl who did blow. She could dance the twist. And just the fashion alone, like, it was so influential at the time and so iconic for that era, for that period of time in history. I just feel like, to me, like if you're talking about Gen X awards, like that screams Gen X to me. Like everything about that movie is Gen X to me. The soundtrack, the the fact that it's Quentin Tarantino, the cast. It's just, nobody was really quite the same after seeing Pulp Fiction. Like there hadn't ever been a movie really like that yet, but when we saw it. And Uma Thurman, to me, when I think of Pulp Fiction, I think of Uma Thurman. So I'm going to go with Uma Thurman.
I mean, I agree with you there too, because I feel like just her persona is so iconic, and it's still like today, you still Halloween, someone's gonna dress up like her, like it's just like her in that movie. It's just so immediately recognizable, and it. And Betsy Hyman's costumes were,
And it's like our kids still dress like Uma Thurman. Like it's like she's still, it's definitely like crossed over generations.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to do, what should we do next? Should we do best actor, best actress? We just did best actress, supporting actress. So let's do best actor.
Okay.
All right. This is hard. Okay. This is really, I mean, this is stressing me out because it's like, I just can hear everybody yelling at their screen as we make our decisions. When we were coming up with this list, we were like, this is like,
it's also like different types of movies too. Yeah.
Right. And that's kind of why I feel like, I think, the Golden Globes is smart to like split it up into like best comedy, best drama, like the way they do that, because how do you compare Back to the Future and do the right thing or Malcolm X, right? It's like there's such different movies and different performances. Anyway, do you want to read our best actor list?
Well, okay. So the nominees are Bruce Willis for Die Hard, Michael J. Fox for Back to the Future, Denzel Washington for Malcolm X, and Brandon Lee for The Crow.
Oh my goodness. All right. So we got Bruce Willis, Michael J. Fox, Michael Douglas, Denzel Washington, and Brandon Lee. Noticeably absent from the list. I don't know why I always do the noticeably absent, but because I read it again and started having doubts, is Tom Cruise. Risky Business wouldn't have made the cut, but Top Gun would have made the cut.
Yeah.
And that, I mean, he's really annoying in that movie, but it is very, I feel like we should mention Tom Cruise.
Yeah. Also, then I feel like best supporting, we should have had Val Kilmer on for that one too.
Damn it.
I know there's too many. I mean,
That's why, this is why we were tortured and almost didn't do this because it's too all right. So who did you, out of those best actors, what are you thinking? As far as,
this is really hard because I feel like Bruce Willis, Michael J. Fox, Michael Douglas, and Brandon Lee, like all of them, those characters are all iconic. Like you can just picture it in your head. Like somebody, cool best friend on Substack yesterday used a picture of Gordon Gekko for her post about like 90s, so Greed. Yeah. So it's like you can just picture all. So I feel like they're all iconic, and obviously, but I want to go in with Denzel just because like he did so much in that movie. Like he portrays Malcolm X multiple stages of his life. Malcolm X is also he's known for his charismatic, really like galvanizing way of speaking that's very distinct, and Denzel captured that perfectly. But wasn't like
made him
mimicking him. Yeah. And I mean his Denzel, and I mean he got nominated for that one. Yeah.
I mean, that's one of those things where it's like the performance is probably the best performance out of everybody on this list in terms of like just the acting. And yet but as far as like Gen X icon, like, I don't know. I feel like maybe because I think of Denzel as being a little bit older than me, and he probably is older than us, right? He's definitely older than you. Yeah. I think he's older than me, and not the same. I feel like, he always looks super handsome. I always feel like he doesn't feel Gen X-y to me, and that's the only reason I wouldn't put him in that category. But then again, the guy that I'm going to pick is a kind of a similar, because I was going to say Bruce Willis. But Bruce Willis also feels older to me.
As is Michael Douglas, yes.
Right, as Michael Douglas. So maybe I'm completely, my premise here is completely wrong.
I think like this is how for whatever, never mind. It's like it could be of a different of the elder generation, like a boomer, but they were icons when we were growing up, so they were like important to us, like shaping us. So yeah, I would say like everyone on this list is like
Yeah, I'm gonna change my. I'm thinking about it out loud now, and I'm gonna say Michael J. Fox, and not because like that he's like an incredible actor or anything, although he's a good actor. He's a great actor. And I just remember Michael J. Fox in my generation, my slice of Gen X, as being like omnipresent guy. Like he was the guy like you kind of wanted to be in 1986. Like he was young, he was handsome, he was in a lot of movies, he was on that show, he was on TV.
Family Tie.
Family Tie, right? And he was successful. He was young and successful. And I remember thinking, like, when I was that age, like, God, how is Michael J. Fox so successful, so young? Like, I want to be Michael J. Fox, like almost being like envious of Michael J. Fox at that time. And you know, or just seeing him almost as like an inspiration, that you could be so young and so successful. And so I don't know. And of course, Back to the Future, it's like, it's almost cliche as an 80s movie because it's like every 80s trope is in that movie, but you have to, the 80s tropes were created by that movie. Like, even though it has all the tropes, it actually is because that movie was made that all the 80s tropes are there. So I almost feel like, and he is to me, like his haircut, the way he dresses, his riding his skateboard through town, like his like lingo, everything about him is so quintessentially 80s, that I can't not nominate him. Again, not saying that he, like, again, comparing his performance to Denzel Washington's is like a little bit crazy, but I just feel like to me he would win the Gen X Oscar. That's my thought. Does everybody agree? I don't know. Let's put now a little musical interlude. Oh, that's wrong. Wait.
I was like,
the wrong. So when we come back, we will be bringing you our nominees for, where are we now? Best actress.
Yes.
Yeah, Best Actress.
Yeah. Stacked category.
This is, again, impossible to decide, but I will fade the music here. Okay. Here we go. Best Actress. All right. Our nominees are Sigourney Weaver, Aliens, 1986. Julia Roberts, Pretty Woman, Jesus, 1990. Alicia Silverstone, Clueless, 1995. Jennifer Lopez, Selena, 1997. And I know why you want to do 97, because you want to get Jennifer Lopez. And then Angela Bassett, What's Love Got to Do with It, 1993. All right. And then I'm going to add honorary mention, Molly Ringwald, Breakfast Club, 1984, because I feel like it's kind of crazy not to have Molly Ringwald on a list of Gen X Oscars when you're talking about Gen X, at least in my mind. You just have to have her on there, whether you believe it or not. And the other one I forgot to put on there was Glenn Close from Fatal Attraction, but I don't know. That's kind of controversial. But anyway, all right. So those are our Best Actress nominees. Sigourney Weaver, Julia Roberts, Alicia Silverstone, Jennifer Lopez, and Angela Bassett. What are you thinking, Fania?
I think this was the hardest one for me, because it is a stacked category.
Right.
And just aside, like for Molly Ringwald, I would do that, but for Pretty in Pink, that movie I feel like made more.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That one is like reference.
Yeah, it's more reference.
More of a, that one sat more with me, I think. But anyway, so yeah, sorry, Molly. Okay, so this one I had to think really hard about it because I love Jennifer Lopez, and Selena was her breakout, but I have to go with Alicia Silverstone, sorry, for Clueless. Because, okay, I think Emma is the hardest, is like the Jane Austen character that I think is like the absolute least, the hardest to relate to, like from the modern day. Because like in Regency era, I know women didn't have that much, opportunity. So it's like that character to me has always seemed like really spoiled, really mean for no reason, like she's always meddling and everything. But if you put Amy Heckerling, if you put it in Beverly Hills High School in 1990 or after, then it just makes total sense, right? Like she's a teenager, and and she's figuring herself out. And then Alicia Silverstone, I feel like just made, or Cher, like Emma, just so endearing. Like she's still meddling and she's maybe not bored, but sometimes she is mean, but you just love her and you're so charmed by her. And as a character, she doesn't like, she challenges you to underestimate her because she likes fashion and, you know, she can't drive or whatever. But, you know, she's like a natural leader. She's so smart. And that character is just so iconic. And it speaks to actually just like so many generations. Like, I was at an event last year for Mona May, the costume designer, and you had like people my age. They were like Gen Alpha there, and they like love Cher. They love that movie. They love that yellow plaid outfit, you know, like she's just like, I feel like Alicia's like a hero to, so many.
And she really transcends. I'm going to go with Alicia Silverstone too. I'm torn a little bit between Alicia Silverstone and Molly Ringwald because, and to me, again, they're different stages at different eras of Gen X. So it's like early Gen Xers might more relate to Molly Ringwald than Alicia Silverstone. But Alicia Silverstone, actually, I mean, she's actually closer to my age. Actually, I have no idea if that's true. I take that back. But she is. I love that she was able to play a ditzy character, but be so smart at the same time, like and wise. And I think that's like almost impossible to pull off. And she somehow did that. And her character, I mean, all the catchphrases, the as if and whatever. I mean, these have like lived on for like eternity, and will live on for eternity. I love that my kids can watch Clueless and just love it as much as I did the first time I saw it. I was completely in love with Alicia Silverstone during this era of my life. Like, I just thought she was the most adorable, you know, beautiful. I loved her. I still do. But when I was single, I was like, Alicia Silverstone is my dream girl. And she's just so adorable. And again, but adorable, but also like smart and you know, it's just it's an amazing performance. It's sort of a once in a lifetime performance. She was perfectly cast too. I don't know the story behind the casting, but because she wasn't very well known.
That was definitely her. Well, she was in the Aerosmith videos. Right?
Yeah, that was the other thing. She started. Yeah, it's amazing.
It was definitely her that made that character too.
Right.
Because you kind of see Cher in sometimes, like I watched her Acorn mystery show that was set in Ireland, and there's like something about her too that she's just so so charming. Like, she just has this like sort of effervescence about her.
And it's true. I can't imagine anybody else playing that role, and I feel like they'll no doubt remake it if they haven't anyway. It'll be very hard. It's kind of like when they tried to do Mean Girls again, and it just didn't work without the original Mean Girls. I mean, all due respect to those actors, it was almost impossible. It was a tall task to try to redo like those kinds of performances that are so iconic. So anyway, we both agree on Alicia Silverstone. Yay, Alicia Silverstone!
Come live with us.
I know. Come and be on our podcast. I mean, if you're watching, I are our Substacks. I'm obsessed with you, and there is my sort of bucket list interviews are Alicia Silverstone and Molly Ringwald, and I mean, I would just love to get. I mean, of course, I'd love to get anybody on this damn list to come on my show, but they're just. I would love to hear their take on being Gen X and like what it means. Oh, and Monica Lewinsky too. These are just people that I would kill to have on my show and talk to. But someday, bucket list. Yeah. All right. We are coming down to our last category, which is the best Gen X movie for the Gen X Oscars. And then if we have some time, we might talk about the actual Oscars.
Yeah.
But let's do a little backstory here. We actually we have a list of like 50 movies. We didn't know. It was so hard. Can you try to, I mean, just imagine this. You're trying to figure out the best movies for Gen Xers between 1984 and 1997. I mean, give me a break. It's like, and again, you're talking about comedies and dramas and, political thriller. I mean, everything. So it's like very hard. I don't know. I don't really know how we're going to do this, but we'll try. Do we know like what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say we were just going to talk about our favorite movies and like throw them out there and then
and just like ask people to weigh in, because I can tell you like my top 5. I'm looking at this list now.
I have my 5 or 4.
You do your 4, and again, these are Gen X. I don't know if they're some of my favorite movies from this era, because my favorite movies might not be what I think are the most like Gen X-y.
Yeah. I guess. All right. Well, my first top two are Keanu Reeves starring Point Break, because I mean, Patrick Swayze, I feel like that's pretty quintessential Gen X. And they redid it like 2015, wasn't the same. I feel like needed to stay in that period. And there would be no Fast and Furious franchise if there was not a Point Break, because that's
true. That was the original, the OG.
Exactly. Yeah. And then Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. I mean, talk about quotability, like so many quotes from that. And then I saw Waiting for, I always pronounce it wrong, Godot, with Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter in there. And it there was like a Bill and Ted like homage in there too, like when they
really?
Yeah, there's just like a little Easter egg, but it really felt like Bill and Ted, and they're in college and they're doing their like historical, their like English literature project or something, and they did a play together, because you just can't get those two together out of your head from this movie. Like it still feels that way, even though they're doing Beckett. But yeah, those two. Had to go Boys in the Hood, because that, for me, that was one of my quintessential Gen X movies, even if I didn't, maybe a lot of the themes maybe went over my head when I first watched it. But then rewatching it again, I was like, like the fashion in it is so good. And like everyone is so beautiful. And it has the greats in it, like Regina King is in there.
I mean, Regina King is in that movie. I know she's so young. Good
she probably was just out of 227. I meant to Google that. But yeah, she's like it has the greats, like Morris Chestnut, Cuba, that. Yeah. And then I have to go Joy Luck Club, because that was one of my seminal movies. It was 1993. I remember going to see it with all my friends. And it was a groundbreaking movie, because it was probably the first
like all Asian cast, right? Probably.
Yeah. Asian and Asian American. And it's, it kind of showed the world that there are, like, expanded the idea of what American stories could be. It's women led. It's again, like universal, women led. It's about mothers and daughters. Andrew McCarthy is in it for like a Gen X.
By the way, I just made a request to have Andrew McCarthy on Small Talk Live, because he has a memoir out, and I have not heard back from his publicist. So if they're watching,
I remember if we tried to ask him when Bratz came out, and got to know. And yeah, Bratz. I think I was like, I didn't add any Brat Pack things on there. I think it was because I still have like PTSD from watching Bratz. But so sorry, Molly Ringwald. I think actually, I'm gonna put Pretty in Pink on as my 5, because that movie also was really, I feel like, influential in my life. It was just such a like Molly Ringwald, I feel like spoke to like everyone who like sort of felt like an outsider at that age. But
I wonder if that movie is more like women gravitate to that movie more than men. I don't know. I love that. I mean, I love all these movies, but I wouldn't put that, like, I would probably put Breakfast Club. Well, I haven't talked about mine, but even 16 Candles, like, for some reason that made more of an impact on me. And I have no idea why. No idea why. I haven't seen Pretty in Pink in a long time. I'd probably have to rewatch.
I rewatched it somewhat recently, and I feel like I don't love the ending, but I feel like Molly talks about it quite a bit too. People are asking her about the prom dress. But yeah,
she doesn't love those movies. Like she's said now, like publicly, that she's not a big fan of her early movies. The messages, like she's like, she wrote an article about this in New Yorker, but
I respected her. I mean, it's not like I feel like you can look back on these things and be like, okay, well, from a lens of today, this is why it didn't work. I felt like she was like fair in her critique, and I had a lot of respect for her.
I do too. Molly, if you're listening, God, I would love to have you on this podcast. I have so much respect for her. I just think she's awesome. Well, I mean, so did you do your list? I don't want to cut you off.
Those are my 5. Yes.
Yeah. So I think it's just keeping in the Molly Ringwald theme here. I'm going to have to put The Breakfast Club on this list. Now, I don't even know if that's my favorite John Hughes movie, because I don't know. I love 16 Candles, but The Breakfast Club, I just think is so quintessentially Gen X, because you've got all the elements, the soundtrack, all the actors, you know, all those that cast, that ensemble cast, all the themes of it are so. This is sort of early Gen X, but I just can't not have that movie on. You know, I just think. I mean, Don't You Forget About Me is probably one of the most iconic, you know, Gen X songs. Again, this is earlier because later it'll be like the whole grunge era. But in this, you know, to me, Breakfast Club was the quintessential Gen X movie of the 80s. And so I'm going to go with Breakfast Club. And then, you know, I would think the movie after that's of the same genre would be Reality Bites. Although I didn't like Reality Bites as much as Breakfast Club, but I feel like it has to be on the list because it's just such a Gen X movie. It's the sort of the beginning of the slacker movement, you know, Ethan Hawke playing a slacker, which, you know, we hadn't really like, that wasn't even a thing until it was defined by, you know, that character. And, you know, look, we didn't end up being slackers at all, but at the time, that's what we were considered, or that there was a certain type of Gen Xer that was considered to be a slacker. So I feel like Reality Bites has to be on the list. And then it gets all messy. I love, I guess a lot of my movies. Well, I love Do the Right Thing. That movie just made a huge, and maybe it's because I'm an East Coast. Well, you're an East Coaster, right?
I am now. Yes.
Yeah, you are now.
But yeah.
So I grew up in New York, and I felt like Do the Right Thing, you know, which came out in '89. I just remember it so vividly, seeing it. I remember, you know, listening to Fight the Power on the radio. There was something about that movie that was so like really reflected what was going on in New York at that time in like a beautiful, poetic, and a disturbing way. And everything from like how hot it was the whole summer to like the race riot at the end. I don't know. I just felt like it was the perfect movie. And so I'm going to put that on my list. So I've got Breakfast Club, Do the Right Thing, Reality Bites. All right. Then we start getting crazy. Again, if we're just talking Gen X, I feel like I have to have Back to the Future on the list because to me, again, I've already said it, but it's the most 80s movie I can possibly think of, that like in terms of just everything, the music, the way everybody talks, the all the iconography, you know, the DeLorean and the skateboard. It's just too 80s. It's just like, if you can't not say it. And then it gets crazy. Okay, so number 5, if you look at this, I mean, I'm looking at her. I mean, it's ridiculous because you could say Clerks because that's kind of like the next, like that's kind of like the 90s kind of, you know, and Bill and Ted's to me is super 90. And then, but I'm going to say, I'm just looking at our list here. And then like, I don't know. It's not really, I mean, Goodfellas, right? It's like, there's something about Goodfellas. I don't know. Maybe it's just because it's so quoted by my friends and because like Joe Pesci, like, am I a clown? And maybe it's because maybe it's because I've seen that movie about 3,000 times, but I feel like that movie, I mean, even doesn't take place in the 80s, has nothing to do with the 80s or the 90s, but there's just something very Gen X-y about that movie to me. And I can't even really articulate it. So that's great. Nice, John. But or Fargo is another one I have. That's a late.
Fargo, yeah.
I'd love to say, I mean, Boys in the Hood and is also up there. Anyway, so I'm gonna just stick with my list and shut up. It was funny because I mentioned, well, this is not really a Gen X movie, so forget that. Yeah, so I'm gonna go with those. I'm happy with that list. I might get dinged in the comments, but it's okay.
Oh yeah, or what are, because since I'm on like a different format, I can't see the comments.
Oh, Autumn said Dazed and Confused. I completely.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah, because
Autumn in it, even.
Yeah, because I'm always saying, wait, that's the days. What, like, they just keep getting younger, but I keep saying, but I stay the same age. That was Dazed and Confused, right? Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, I feel like
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, always makes me laugh.
That's a really good choice that I don't know why I didn't think about that. See, this is why this is so hard, because it's like I only have, my brain has gotten smaller as I've gotten older. It doesn't retain as much.
Well, I mean, there were a lot of yeah, it was a lot. Like, yeah, like Top Gun. I actually I didn't even think of Top Gun. Like, I forgot about that one, but that was, yeah.
I mean, that's such an iconic. I went to Japan in 1990 to teach English, and I taught English in like grade school in the countryside. It was the craziest thing I've ever done. I went because my girlfriend was going to go to Japan, and we ended up breaking up the first week that I was in Japan. So suddenly I found myself in Japan in the middle of the countryside by myself. But anyway, it was an incredible experience. But that movie had just come out, or had come out like recent, in the recent, and everybody in Japan would quote that movie. And all the kids, it was like one of those movies that like crossed over totally like within cultures, and none of those kids spoke English, but they'd be like, Jonah-san, and then they give me the finger. And because they all remembered that scene when, who is it? I don't know. I guess Tom Cruise gives the finger, like the planes are going like this. And so they didn't know what that meant, but they would all give me the finger. I'd be like, that's not good. You can't do that to
American around the world.
But anyway, Top Gun is a really quintessential sort of 80s iconic Gen X movie for sure.
Yeah.
Although I didn't love the movie. I guess I'm alone in that.
I mean, I'm not like, I liked it. It wasn't one that really, it's more of a Young Guns type of, like, if I was thinking, like,
it's a very testosterone
movie, that was more my thing, but like,
it's part of that era of like action movies that were very popular back then that sort of feels silly sometimes now in retrospect. But Top Gun 2 is good. It was really good. Did you see it?
The recent one?
Yeah, the recent one.
I
didn't like it.
I fell asleep halfway through. Well, I was hoping one, I was mad that they cut Manny Jacinto out. So I was like checked out by then. And then I wanted to see more of Jay Ellis. Yeah, so I kind of, I need to finish it. I should probably finish it.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it wasn't, I enjoyed it. And I went kicking and screaming, believe me, because I didn't even like the first one. So I was like, I'm not going to like the second one. And then I kind of like the second one. Should we, one thing we didn't talk about, and I don't even know if we have it written down here, it was a soundtrack. Like, was there a best soundtrack from a Gen X movie?
We did. We have a list.
We have a list. Let me know what we wrote. We shared. We did a Google share. Oh my God, this is so hard. So do you want to read what we have here?
Okay. Well, we have like more than 5.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But I did actually, I had a note in there because you had singles and reality bites. Which sometimes in my memory, I confuse them because I think everything is reality bites. So I was like, maybe just pick one. But I think it should be reality bites. So I think reality bites as well. Trainspotting, which, also iconic, especially for 1996. Pulp Fiction, your fave. Waiting to Exhale, which has like all the greats. I put Romeo and Juliet, which is 1996. I love that soundtrack.
What is on? Remind me. That's definitely later, but like that's all like 90s, mid 90s music. What's on the Romeo?
Yeah, it's wait, I actually wrote it.
Look it up. Oh, you did?
Because it has Garbage on it, Everclear.
Oh yeah, like Stupid Girl.
Right? The Cardigans. That I feel like the Cardigans, Love Fool, like Young Hearts Run Free. Anyway, I love that one.
Yeah, that's like a really good soundtrack, and that's I'm looking at it. It has Butthole Surfers. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, that's a real classic, like 90s alt rock soundtrack.
No skips. Yeah, that was a good one. But I realized I forgot. Desperately Seeking Susan, I feel like should have also been in like a lot of those.
God, yes. Desperately Seeking Susan. And we didn't even talk about Madonna, which I feel like she's like. It's interesting. My guest last week said that he thinks that's the most overrated 80s movie, and I actually don't agree. I did not agree with him.
Strong disagree.
Yeah, strong disagree.
I think I might live in New York City because of that movie. But yeah.
What is it on the Desperately Seeking soundtrack? I'm just looking at the soundtrack right now because I have to remember it. It has Into the Groove.
Yeah.
Lust for Life. Oh my God, Sucker MCs. One Thing Leads to Another. Okay, you had me at Into the Groove. That is an incredible soundtrack.
That song, yeah, and just like the club scenes in the movie and like
That's one that I need to rewatch.
I watched it over.
Does it stand up?
Yeah, I watched it over pandemic, I think. So not that long ago, and yeah, it really does. And I mean, yeah, it's just still so cool. And she's really good. And Rosanna Arquette's excellent in that movie.
Yeah. Right, that goes without saying. But Madonna, like that was kind of a revelation. Like, can she act? Like,
yeah,
it's kind of like when Prince was in Purple Rain. Oh my God, we don't have Purple Rain. Well, that's too late.
Purple Rain is. Oh yeah, I was like, well, I think it was like 1 year early or something like that.
1 year early, yeah. Okay, so Purple Rain. If we were doing 83 or whatever, then we would do Purple Rain. Or yeah. That Desperately Seeking Susan. I might have to say that's one of my favorites. I mean, we don't have on this list that you mentioned. Let's see here. The soundtrack to Singles people love because that's like grunge.
One.
I have to say that of all these that we're talking about, Reality Bites was the one that was on the most repeat play on my CD player at the time. My non-skip CD Walkman.
Yeah, the CD
non-skip. Like you go jogging and you didn't want it to skip.
Yeah, you have to like hold it. Yeah.
I have a connection to Lisa Loeb, and I definitely am going to get her on the podcast. I mean, I love Stay. I love all the songs on Reality Bites. I love even the ones that didn't even blow up. Like I just like the entire soundtrack. So I love Reality Bites, and I'm a hip hop guy. So the fact that I'm saying Reality Bites is one of my favorite soundtracks is kind of insane. In fact, I can't think of any movies that had a pure hip hop soundtrack it would have to be, for me, it'd have to be East Coast hip hop. I can't think of anything. Somebody maybe put it in the comments. I'm skipping. Do the Right Thing did.
I love the New Jack City soundtrack. Oh, that's more. There's like New Jack Swing in it, obviously.
Yeah, the New Jack Swing is a lot of fun.
Right, but I love that was my absolute favorite album when I was tape. I had it on a tape. I put that one.
Did you?
One of my favorites. Yeah, it's still good.
You like New Jack?
Yeah, I love New Jack Swing, and there's even like Color Me Bad is on that soundtrack. I saw there was a Wesley Snipes retrospective at BAM, like maybe about 10 years ago, and I rewatched that movie, and that one mostly, that one I was like holds up, and I was like soundtrack is so good, but
it's good. It introduced that music. That music was like banging for a minute. New Jack Swing, and I have to say when I play. Because I DJ once a month. I play a lot of New Jack Swing and people definitely respond to that kind of music. It's great dance music.
I know, it's good. I know they need to bring it back.
Did we miss anything? Let me look at what people are saying. Did we miss anything as far as soundtracks goes? We said, let me see what we said for best Gen X soundtrack. The winner is I think we kind of agreed that it's between what did we say? What did you say? Between Desperately Seeking Susan. Purple Rain is 84, so we could put Purple Rain on.
We can put it back, yeah.
We'll put, and then I said Reality Bites because I feel like everybody owned that CD, right? Like there was not a person that didn't own that CD. It's just Now, at one point we had on Train Spotting, but I can't.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh no, I was like, I feel like that is also, but it captures a very specific moment in the generation of like Britpop and that like rave, like
right. I feel like to me that feels a little older. I mean, it is still my generation, and I was like, late 20s at that point. But I feel like that almost crosses over into a different era where like now like we're talking about like house music and like Brit rave music and DJs and what's not on this list, and I'm not saying I love the soundtrack. In fact, I pretty much loathe the soundtrack, but I feel like Footloose, like a lot of hits.
Oh, I love that soundtrack.
You do? I mean, it's
I think
soundtrack
that's
ever.
Fair, yeah. Like Kenny Loggins, come on, when you hear that song, it that's like a quintessential 80s moment.
It is a quintessential 80s soundtrack. I have to read what's on that soundtrack because it is Let's see here. We've got Almost Paradise, Dancing in the Sheets. Where is it? Let's Hear It for the Boy.
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah,
for Denise. Yes.
yeah.
Oh, that's
I
the
mean,
quintessential one. Yeah.
it's kind of perfect. Now, is Flashdance? I think we don't quite. I don't think Flashdance came out.
Kind of a lot of like Irene Cara, I think is she had some really good soundtrack because she did Fame also.
Right.
And that one, yeah. So those two are
they're in there, but Flashdance came out in 83, so it didn't make our cut because we were doing 84. But I definitely feel like I listened to a lot of Flashdance when I was younger.
I love that song. I still love that song. And Pretty Woman, I forgot. That was a no skips one for me also. I love that soundtrack. It had
the Pretty Woman soundtrack.
Which now I can't remember the songs, but that was also.
I have to. This is the joy of the internet that I can.
Since you're searching.
Pretty Woman soundtrack. What do we think?
It has that Go West song on it. That was really good.
Oh my god.
And then, and Roxette, the Roxette song. That was.
I'm looking at Pretty Woman
soundtrack.
Go West, the King of Wishful. Yeah, you're the king of Wishful
Thinking. I love that song.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and Roxette. It must have been love.
Yeah. Iconic moment also.
Iconic. And by the way, if you want me to sing all the songs, I will. Yeah, no, that is King of Wishful Thinking. Go West, very underrated 80s band. Like I love their We Close Our Eyes. That's a great call. All right. I feel like we have done our due diligence. I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's fun. It's fun talking about movies that we loved and grew up with and the actors that influenced us. And do we want to talk about the Oscars like coming up? I mean, is anybody gonna watch? I'm gonna watch. I never miss an Oscars, but I also live in Los Angeles. It's actually literally having a mile from my house, which is I'm getting out of Dodge. I'm going down to Venice to watch a Oscar party. A little crazy in this neighborhood. It's actually these limos start lining up on Highland Avenue, like all the way down by my street, and it's like 2 miles away from the theater. So I'm gonna watch it. And I don't know. Do you have a list of, I wrote down the Oscars. We don't have to talk about every single Oscar, but like predictions. What do you think is going to win Best Picture? Is that even like in dispute?
I want Sinners to win.
Me too.
I feel like that one. It's between Sinners. It's definitely between Sinners and One Battle After Another. I don't know. Just the momentum lately, though. I feel like Sinners could get it.
I feel like Sinners won the actors. The Sinners won the SAG Awards, or now known as the Actor Award, which is usually a harbinger. And it is the best. I mean, One Battle After Another, I really enjoyed. Although it's getting a lot of criticism lately in the press. There's like a little bit of a negative thing against it. I thought it was a great movie. But I thought Sinners was like I just thought Sinners was a really special movie, like incredible. I don't know. It was weird timing. He released it like early in the year. He released it like, in which I think kind of ruined. Like in some ways, it was a weird decision. I say the studio released it. I don't think Ryan Coogler had anything to do with it. But so people kind of forgot it. But the first time I saw Sinners, I was like, this is incredible. It's like got everything. It's like two movies. It has this incredible history, like historical component.
So weird. Yeah.
And then it's a vampire movie, and it's and
it's like I love like how he used like the genre, like the horror genre, to like also tell like a social historical message. Yeah, it's genius.
It was a genius movie. I feel like it deserves to win. I just don't feel like any movie comes close.
Yeah, and
I like a lot of the movies that are on the list. So the list is, just so people know, it's Sinners, Begonia, which I really thought was cool, F1, which I didn't see, Frankenstein, Hamnet, and Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value. I just it's definitely between Sinners and One Battle After Another. All right, so we like Sinners. Best Actor, I just have this on my list. It's between Timothée Chalamet for Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio for One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, and Michael B. Jordan for Sinners. Is that all?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't say that. Sorry. He was great in that movie.
Yeah, I really like him a lot. Yeah, because well, now it seems everyone, even the mathematical predictions, it's very close between Michael B. Jordan and Timothée Chalamet.
Timothée?
Or I don't know, Timmy.
Are you a fan?
I do like Timmy, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope, I want Michael B. Jordan to win. I mean, he played two people.
How do you play two people? It's unfair. It's like you got to get it. You play two people well, then you should get that. I think he's a pretty much of a shoe-in, but I could be wrong. If Timothy gets it, I wouldn't be sad because I thought he also was great. But I think Mike deserves it.
Yeah, that's what I'm gunning for. I feel like if there was like a third, well, I think also because Wagner Moura won. What did he win? He won over. He won the Golden Globe. He won something else too. But anyway, he could be the kind of third, maybe.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the other, like Ethan and Leo.
Yeah, no way.
Love you both, but yeah, no.
All due respect, Ethan and Leo. Yeah. I love you, Ethan and Leo. Not this year. Love
you, Ethan. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. Best actress. We got Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne for. I don't even have to talk about this because she's so.
She's great. Everyone's great in that category.
She's so incredible in that movie. I mean, it's to the point of her performance. If you haven't seen Hamnet, it's one of the saddest movies I think I've ever seen in my life. But it's also life affirming, and a beautiful movie. And she is so good in that. Now I'm gonna just say that I saw The Bride over the weekend, and it almost made me not want to pick Hamnet because she's great she's the only good thing in The Bride. The Bride is one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. I have to say it is a terrible movie. So I do not recommend that movie, but I do recommend Hamnet. Jessie Buckley, incredible. She's an amazing actress. All right, we can keep doing this forever. What time is it? I will let you go. We have work to do. Should we just do Best Supporting Actor and Best Supporting Actress, and then we'll be done with it?
Yeah.
Okay. So Best Supporting Actor this year. Do you have them in front of you?
Wait, I can remember. Let's see if I can remember. Oh, if you have it, no. Yeah.
I got it. Benicio del Toro for One Battle After Another. Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein. Delroy Lindo for Sinners. Sean Penn for One Battle After Another, and Stellan Skarsgård for Sentimental Value. It's funny that Sentimental Value got so many nominations. It's a good movie, but it's a small movie. Yeah, I saw it. It's it's a good movie, but it's it's like an Oscar movie. All right. What are you thinking? Best Supporting Actor?
Everyone thinks it's going to be Sean Penn. That's not what he's not my favorite, but everyone thinks it's going to be Spicoli.
Yeah. Oh my God, boy, has Spicoli gone through some changes from Spicoli to whatever character, to that weird character he plays in One Battle After Another, where he's kind of chiseled, kind of buffed out army guy. Is he the favorite? I thought maybe Jacob Elordi would be the favorite from Frankenstein.
No, because I think in the beginning people thought so because he won something, the Gotham or something. But Sean Penn seems to be the favorite now.
And that's probably because, has Sean Penn won an Oscar? Because sometimes they'll give the Oscars will sometimes, if somebody is a Sean Penn, it's an old timer that's been around the block, they will sometimes give it to him because or her because they feel like they owe it, even though this might not be the movie. This might not be the movie that they deserved it for. They might. So if he hasn't already won, then I think he's a shoo-in. Yeah. And Benicio del Toro, he's great. It's that's actually kind of a funny choice. He's good in that movie, but I wouldn't say it's
good. I thought Delroy Lindo is always amazing. I thought he's great. I really did like Stellan Skarsgård in Sentimental Value.
I mean, he's the most despicable, narcissistic character. It's a great performance. He was in that HBO movie, right? I was like, where do I know him from? But he was in yeah.
Oh, you know him from Good Will Hunting.
How I know him? I mean, he's been around forever.
He's a professor. Yeah, I feel like that's how I know who he is. But he's been he's I mean, he's been around for forever because as an actor, in Sweden.
Best Supporting Actress.
This is going to be interesting, I think.
Yeah, This one's actually not a shoo-in. Like nobody's nobody knows.
Yeah.
We got Teyana Taylor for One Battle After Another, and she won. I think she won the actor award.
Yeah.
Elle Fanning for Sentimental Value. I'm gonna get this. I mean, I can't even say this name. Just to say Inga, it looks like literally like I'm looking at an eye chart. She has a very difficult to pronounce Swedish name, like Liz Daughter Lilius. Amy Madigan for Weapons. I love Amy Madigan. And then Wunmi Mosaku for Sinners. I might have mangled her name too. Wow. I mean, I think Teyana Taylor is she the favorite?
Like she won because she won the Globe and something else.
She won the actor award.
Yeah. Oh no, Amy Madigan won the actor award.
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're totally. I should know that.
Now she's like, I don't know. They're thinking Amy Madigan maybe moved ahead in the. I kind of want Amy Madigan.
I know. That's another one where you feel like she deserves it after years of.
Yeah, it just was. Yeah. So. Yeah,
it's great, and I'm in love with her. I think she's like gorgeous and a really great actress. I don't know if I feel like she's not in that movie even enough. Like,
I think Wunmi is in Sinners is excellent too. Like,
she's great.
She won the BAFTA.
Yeah, so. I would go with Amy Madigan. I think we agree on Amy Madigan. And also, Weapons is like an underrated. Weapons was a great movie.
That would be fun for like the genre movies too to get all this Oscar.
Yeah,
Sinners
like Weapons never gets. Yeah, and Sinners exactly. Like they're a different category than normally gets nominated. So that would be really cool. You never see horror movies. All right. Well, this has been exciting. Well, thank you for joining us for the Gen X Awards. Sponsored by. We can maybe get sponsors and this thing can pay for itself, because this tuxedo is not paying for itself. Let me just tell you right now. This is actually my wedding. Oh,
really? I was going to say, what story are you telling us with your? Isn't that what they say on the red carpet? What story are you telling us?
What story are you telling us? Or this is a beautiful polo. No, I think it's Brooks Brothers or Polo.
Oh, fancy.
I know it's fancy. It's Polo by Ralph Lauren. And I got this for my wedding. So my wife was like, "Why are you wearing your wedding jacket?" I mean, the only thing is it still fits 20 years later. So that's actually that's my win. I deserve an Oscar for that. Fonia, this has been fantastic. We should probably tell people if they can't see how to find us and maybe subscribe. I hope we haven't lost subscribers doing this podcast. That really wasn't our intention. So how do we find your awesome Substack?
Thank you. So it's called Whatever Nevermind, or the handle is Hey Whatever Nevermind. So find me there. Please subscribe. It's fun.
Yay. Mine is Small Talk. It had to be because my last name's John Small, and why not? And you can find me there. And I look forward to, maybe we can make this an annual tradition, although how can we do that? Because there's only one. That's a crazy thing. Well, maybe we'll come back and do it a different way.
Or we can do Emmys.
What's that?
Emmys, TV.
Oh yeah, the Emmys. We should do
especially Emmys. 80s like TV that's our generation.
That's like our generation. Yeah.
I think we should.
I don't even gonna tell you what 90s TV was. No, that's not true. That's like Friends and all that stuff. But yeah, no, we'll definitely do that. I love that idea. When the Emmys is whatever coming up like next year. We will be back for the Emmys, but until then, this is John Small, Fonia Suhoud saying good night and
happy Oscars.
Happy
Thanks
Oscars.
for joining me.
Bye everybody.
That's great.
I have no idea how to turn it off.